Hello, and welcome along to your regular Gers TV Tuesday night show. At the moment, we've got Lewis and Simon reminding of a song lyric. Clowns to the left, me jokers to the right. And we're going to be here tonight talking about the famous Glasgow Rangers as always. We will discuss the game last night, give you a bit of analysis on the game last night, and I'm sure we'll look forward to the big title kind of top of the table, hopefully title clash with Hearts on Sunday as well. So, Lewis, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. I wasn't too convinced about the performance last night yet again, but the most important thing, 3 points.
Simon, yourself?
I would say last night's performance is one of the games that could win you the league. It wasn't about performance, to be fair. It was horrible weather, really cold conditions, and it's probably one of the ones you look back, you'll not remember the result, the performance, but you'll remember the result.
It felt like actually the reverse fixture when we Hibs 1-0 at Easter Road. Mm-hmm. It felt like one of those ones that was a bit of more of a cagey performance, but he didn't actually care. It was just the 3 points that mattered, and ultimately at the end of the day, that is what matters, 3 points.
Not only that as well, but the League Cup game at Ibrox, when we did beat them 2-0, I think, it wasn't much actually different to that either. So
they're a tricky team.
They are a tricky team. And
always set up well against Rangers, to be fair.
And we'll be beaten 3 times this season. So at the end of the day, we don't, if we are now, it's a long road ahead of us, but if we are standing with that league trophy in the end of May, then we won't remember the fact we had only 2 shots and goal, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't come into it.
My question tonight for everybody would be, could we go for a few games with Hernandez up front? I genuinely think you could get away with it, because we've got strikers that are, they've done it with Derek Johnson in the past, they've done it with Mark Catley's done it. No, Mark Catley, sorry. Derek Johnson's done it. He's played defence and he's played in the attack. You're basically saying if you've got strikers that don't score goals, what's the point of playing strikers? And if you've got a defender that does score goals, could we try it?
It's probably been bang average, if not quite poor defensively this season. So
you're not losing it much from the defensive side.
About 1-1.
But he's got a great header.
I mean, he's already a joint second top goal scorer this season.
Aye,
and he's hardly played.
Aye, which is scary when you think about it. So let's delve right into the game last night then, and I think we can start off with the starting lineup. When we had Dujon Sterling coming back into the team. Simon, start with you. And this one, I presume you were, but were you happy with Sterling coming back, and what did you make his performance first of all?
I think the managers played a blinder with this one, because we were all wanting Sterling back a few weeks ago, and he said that on a press conference, he said that he wasn't ready, and Sterling thought he was ready, so he's probably done the right call with that. He's probably on form, he's our best defender, so I'm happy he came back. I thought he had a really good game. He's Mr. Reliable, that's the big thing about it. And there's other guys in that team that are prone to mistake after mistake. He's no one of them, and having him back in is complete overhaul of the defence again, because he can cover every position in the defence. But I'm glad 3 at the back's got to be with Sterling.
Good. I've got a wee follow-up question from something you said there, Simon, but I'll turn to Lewis now. And same question to you. Were you glad to see him back in the team, and what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, absolutely. Dujon Sterling's one of those players. He's suited to Scottish football, and he's suited to Rangers. I think he's one of those players. He's not one of those sort of play out from the back. As much as his ball into Fernandez last night was fantastic, and I think it's gone a bit unnoticed, I think, personally. But he's not one of those play out from the back. He's a defend first type of player. He's also one of those players that gets Rangers in that team. He's one of the few players in there that actually gets Rangers for me. So I was pleased to see him back in the squad. I'm hoping now, fingers crossed I don't jinx it, I'm hoping now he can stay injury free for the rest of the season, because I think if he can, I think he'll be a crucial part to our success, if there is, of course, success.
Good. Okay, so as I say, a follow-up question to that. In recent weeks on the show, in the stands, in the pubs, we've been talking about at length the kind of fragileness we've had at the back this season, and we have spoke at length about the kind of missing a big dominant personality. Could Sterling be that missing dominant personality at the back then?
I would say without a doubt. He's slots straight back into the team. Maybe he's been guilty of coming back in too early with other managers, but he's the best defender we've got. He's a no-nonsense defender who's comfortable on the ball. That's really what we're needing there. I would slot him right in.
Good. Lewis?
Can't say anything further than that. I agree with that. Absolutely.
Okay. Good. Okay, so just starting then, one of the big calls the managers made last night as well was benching our captain, James Tavernier. Lewis, start with you this time. What did you make of that decision?
He's done that a few times in the last few weeks or so. The last 3 games, I think he's been on the bench. Tav's been on the bench twice. So I'm not questioning it too much because we're all saying that Tavernier's due to be phased out of the squad. Maybe this is it happen.
Simon, you said last night on our reaction show quite strong words about the captain.
It's nothing personal. I know his agent. I've known his agent for years. Before he was into the football agent
Was
stuff.
that a big shot with you?
No, I've just known him, and he has said to me that when his testimonial committee sorted out and things like that, they would probably be using Gers TV if we want to get involved in it. There's nothing personal. I think he's been a great Rangers servant, but his legs haven't. His brain, his brain's there, and he's got the football mind, but he's just not got the legs. Classic example of that's the last kick of the ball, the last few minutes. We've got a corner, and Tav goes for right back to the left wing. He take a corner, puts it by everybody, and puts it out the park. He's then got to get back into position. It's the last minute of the game. If they run up the park and score, they get a corner and nearly scored. All because Tav's trying to do too much and his legs are not there anymore.
Yep.
He's a leader, I think, off the park, but I'd be very limited when the games are playing now. Maybe games like Annan and things like that.
Yeah. For me, I think whether it's the managers or even other players, I think Tavernier's relied on far too much in terms of his set piece ability. Of course, we all know he's great as free kicks, of course, his penalties as well, and corners previously as well. Maybe in the recent years, not so much, but his set piece ability is unreal, and his goal scoring and even assists output for a right back is second to none. To be honest, he's been, I think, one of the high scoring defenders in Britain. I think he is the high scoring defender in British history,
and
or one of
Europa. He was
and
the top goal scorer.
And he was the top goal scorer in the Europa League, of course, the season that we got to Seville. So, yeah, I think I agree with everything that you've said there. Of course, Tavernier, a great servant to the club. I think I've made my opinions clear of him, whether he's Rangers captain quality or not, on the channel before. I've said that before. But I do agree, he's been a great servant to the club. He came when we were in the Championship, League One. So, I can't doubt him for anything. He's been here, certainly through highs and lows.
Good. So moving up the park then, want to just ask you your thoughts, gents, on maybe not the transformation of Conor Barron, but the way he's played in the last few weeks. And for me personally, he's been a bit of a revelation since Danny Rose came in. And I think that's a good example where a manager can make a difference to a player and a player's form. Just tell us your thoughts, Si, on young Conor's performances in the last kind of 4 to 5 weeks.
I'll sum it up quite easily. Future captain of Rangers.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Lewis?
Yeah, he's been immense, and I've been a massive favourite, massive fan of him ever since he joined the club. And I was actually quite a big fan of him before when he was at Aberdeen. I hate to say it, but I thought he was fantastic for Aberdeen. And a question that I've actually been wanting to ask you for the last week couple of days about.
Right. Lewis, now's your chance. Wait, honest.
No, not in this.
Yeah, what?
Not as.
Yeah, I would have went with a strong no, but
no. But a question that I have been wanting to ask is last season, ever since Conor Barron joined until recently, we've seen him sort of play more of as a six, sitting a wee bit deeper. Recently, in the last few games, we're seeing him advance forward, being a bit more of a box-to-box midfielder. Is that a transformation that that you think's been positive? And well, I mean, it clearly has been positive. The last few games he's been playing well, but do you think that's his more natural position as a box-to-box midfielder rather than?
I would agree with that. I think that I don't think he's a great natural football player, but he's a fighter. He seems to get into the right positions, and he's good at reading the game. I don't think his ability is the best, but for the role that he plays, he seems to have settled in. The manager's got him playing at his best, so that's all credit to Danny Rose, because we've said that Danny Rose made a few mistakes since he came in. That's one of the ones that he's got right, and he's probably been right about Curtis as well, because we were all screaming for Finlay Curtis to come into the team, but he's not been that great. But they're young.
You been looking at my question list tonight?
No, but
going to come on to that.
So I think to be fair with that, but in terms of Barron again, he's getting the best out of him now. I like him playing beside Raskin, but I don't know if Raskin's going to be there at the end of the season. So we need somebody to take that slot, but he needs somebody beside him in the team and the midfield.
Okay, so moving on, we have clamoured, myself, yourself, Lewis, Jay, Ryan, everyone at the channel, and a lot of Rangers fans been shouting for Finlay Curtis to start. Yep. He's had a few kind of cameo sub roles, and I think he only did well against Kelly last Saturday. What did you make of Finlay Curtis's start when he's not only his start but his performance last night? Did he justify the clamour, or do you think he's maybe not played too well?
I was delighted to see Curtis and Moore starting. I think it's the first time I've seen they've started together that I can think of anyway. I just think it's too early for him. When I watched him last night, he's very raw and he's nervous. He's trying too hard at times. A wee bit like McCausland just today. He's a Rangers diehard, the boy. It'll take him a while to settle in, and probably by the end, it'll be next season before he's really ready to play in the first team with Rangers, I think. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Okay, Lewis?
Yeah, well, I would both agree and disagree that I think he scored a crucial goal against Panathinaikos in the Champions League qualifiers. Ultimately, of course, we get knocked out. A great goal as well. Of course, took a slight deflection, but a goal nonetheless. And he's also scored in pre-season friendlies and stuff like that, and he's shown some very good performances near the start of the season. And I'm the same as you, Si. I was delighted to see him start alongside Mikey Moore as well, who, of course, had a great game against Kilmarnock. So his performance wasn't the greatest, and as you said, quite raw, quite possibly even trying too hard. But he's a Rangers boy. He's gonna go in there and try his hardest, and that's what you expect for your players. I don't think there's such a thing as trying too hard, because you're always expecting these players to try their absolute best, try their absolute 100%. But you know, it was a similar to the Kilmarnock performance when he came on against Kelly. Not a standout. I don't think poor or exceptional either. I thought he played well in glimpses. He's definitely got the potential there, and I think I wouldn't say it's far to say he's no ready until next season. I think we can see him come in these sort of games against Aaron, or even towards the end of the season if there's any sort of these rubber league games or whatever.
The other thing is as well is Antman's injured now for a few weeks, so he's getting the opportunity anyway, and he's just got to take it. That's a big thing. He's got to take his chances when he gets them.
Right.
Yep, so we're going to move on briefly from staying in the midfield area, but from someone that wasn't selected for the game and hasn't featured really much at all for Danny Rowe. Cameron showed some promise at the start of the season, I think. He had a couple of good performances, but the new manager, Danny Rowe, doesn't seem to have any confidence in him, or has he just been unlucky? What's your thoughts on Lyle Cameron not being included so far?
I had a wee chat about it last night. I really don't know. I genuinely don't know, because I would have him in the team and I'd have him as a regular, but maybe there's things in the training that we don't see. He seems to favour Asgard, who I don't think suited to Scottish football at all. I don't think he's suited to Rangers. He'll go back to England and he'll be a half decent player. A wee bit like forgot his name. No, the boy that went back to England last year. Forgot his name now. Anyway, they're mid-league English first division players, championship players. He's
Cantwell.
Aye, he's quite similar. He's a kind of showboater, but he's not got the finishing touch on him, and they don't really like getting the boot stuck into them. But back to Cameron. I think Cameron's got a lot of potential with Rangers. I'm really surprised that he's not made it so far, because he played well as Dundee we got off of, and he's scoring the goals for Dundee, and he's not scared to hit a dig. He came into the team, he looked good, so maybe something's happened in training I've not seen, but it's a bit of it's a bizarre one for me.
Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, there possibly could have been some sort of fallout, or maybe we're seeing something in training that, well, the manager's seen something in training that we're not, but I struggle to see why Diamande gets picked over him, to be completely honest. Diamande this season, and even previous seasons as well, has not been like that. He's not physical enough for me.
To deceive.
Yeah,
well,
I've
to put it plainly, put it simply.
I was going to be asking the questions tonight, but you've spurred me on, Lewis. I totally agree with that about Diamande. Actually, conversely enough, I did actually think he had one of his better performances last night. However, he's still not the player that we showed. I think when he first came over, when he was on loan from the Danish club, he did show promise, and we thought we were getting a really good player. But since then, as you said, Simon, he's really kind of flattered to deceive. And although last night was it wasn't a great performance, and that worries me going into the run of games. Moving on to our strike force, such as it is. Tell us your thoughts on, start with Lewis this time, on Shamik's performance last night. Lewis, what did you make of it?
Yeah, well, to be completely honest, obviously what still wasn't good enough. His finishing is still poor. I think he had a chance near the end of the game and just had to strike the keeper. It could have went near post, could have went far post, and it probably went in the back of the net. Instead, he went straight to the keeper. But for me, I think it was an improvement to his previous performances. I thought his hold-up play was excellent last night. I thought his link-up with the wingers and even with the midfielders as well. was a lot better. It was a massive improvement. So I was pleased to see that. I'm hoping to see these improvements week by week because I do hope he turns out well. Because considering we spent £8 million on him, up to 10 million possibly with add-ons, don't think it'll get to that. But the fact that we spent all this money on him, you've got to hope and have that bit of promise, that sort of promise there that he will come good. I doubt it, but you've still got to have that bit of hope.
I hope one of the other ones is for goals scored because we won't have to pay it. Unfortunately, Simon, your thoughts on Shamiti and performance last night first of all, and then in general.
He definitely played a bit better last night than he's played, but that's not a great barometer to be fair. My problem is his strikers are bought to score goals, or at least try and score goals and create goals, and he doesn't do any of them. He was a bit of a bully last night, which was good for Rangers, but he doesn't look dangerous in front of goal. It doesn't look like he's going to change. If Rangers can, I think if Danny Rowe could get rid of him in January, he would, to be fair. The £8 million, I know, if you're not scoring goals and you've been bought for that price, you're not justifying your position. What have you got, 3 goals for the attack?
A wee bit more since Miovski scored a couple of goals and then unlucky enough get injured.
So talking about the strikers scoring goals instead of Gordy this week.
That's what happens.
They're strikers, they're supposed to score goals.
We can only talk about what we see every week, unfortunately. And Miovski's now's got 4 or 5. Shamiti's stuck on 1 and Dino's on 2. So that's our options. I kind of stole my thunder on the next question, but Asgard obviously came on late on in the second half. Do you think that people like Antman, Asgard in general, have they got what it takes to beat Rangers in the long term, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think it was another one of the Thelwell deals that was just, they're not suited to Scottish football. I don't think the guy tries, no doubt about it, he's a trier. I also think when you spoke about Diamondi earlier on, I think Diamondi's a really good player who just can't be arsed at times. I think a lot of it's down to mentality and how much they really want to play for the club, and maybe when it's cold weather and things like that, can they really go into second gear? But Asgard, he's got ability, but he's not really he's not strong enough to play for Rangers, I don't think.
Yeah, the technical ability is definitely there. I just don't think he's one of those players that just doesn't like players getting in and about him, and that's what's going to happen in your games against your Millwalls, St Mirrens, your Dundee Uniteds. Players are going to get in about you because that's ultimately how these teams set up against Rangers and Celtic as well. So he's one of those. As you said, he'll end up going back down south. He'll end up going back down to England and he'll shine down there.
Change it a bit for a second, right? Yeah. See, if you were a manager against him, what would you be telling your players? Stick one on him.
Just get stuck in, aye.
Don't be scared to get stuck in.
I'm pretty sure through the Old Firm games, that's what they've done in the first 5-10 minutes. It's the kind of player where, if he gets a bad tackle, gets a hit, if you like, for want of a better expression, he retreats into himself, into his shell. So, that unfortunately, that's what Scottish football is sometimes. And
it's a very hard league to play in. The classic example is a guy like Joey Barton thought it was going to be a walk in the park and really struggled. Well, Joey Barton's a far better player than he was. Than Asgard is, and none of the two of them settled in.
Okay, so any comments, Lewis? You've got young eyes. I can barely see.
Yeah, well, we've got a wee couple of comments here. A wee comment there up the top saying, "Great to see Dujon back. Great to see Dujon back." He played. We'll get it up the screen now.
Just click it. It was on.
A wee comment here. Great to see.
Right, Lewis, it's still on you, I'm afraid.
Great to see Dujon back. He played really well and felt more confident with him at the back. Yeah, absolutely. Another wee comment there for Karen as well. We as a support are too quick. We are a support are too quick at knocking young players if they don't sign right away. Give them regular game time and judge them after that. Absolutely agree. These young players are not going to come in after 1, 2, 3 games and they're going to shine. Are going to be the star player in the team because that's just not how football works.
Just to comment that I've been singing Finlay Curtis's praise all season and asking him to play, but I just think that when I've watched him in the last couple of weeks, he's still a bit raw. I definitely think he'll make it with Rangers. There's no criticism on it. It's a really important time for the club just now.
Yeah, of course.
We really need to be winning trophies again. We need to get the pressure off and the pressure zone. And for a young boy, he's got to play anyway with Ant-Man. Not got to play, but he's going to get his chance with Ant-Man being out. Just think he's still early in his career. I'd love nothing better to see him prove his all right.
Just getting back to Sterling very quickly. Lewis, do you think going forward, Dijon could cut the mustard?
That was absolutely right, Ron. I think that's the
I've
worst.
waited 8 months to say that.
No wonder I love
I think
him.
ever since, since I started doing the Gers TV just there a year ago, I think that's the worst bit of far I've ever heard on this show. That is absolutely
That's a
right,
meme.
Ron.
That's a meme coming up in it. Back to the comments, please, Lewis.
No, well, there's not really much more. We've got beat Hearts and Sunday
Hard to
game.
follow that, innit? Really?
From John, we've got beat Hearts and Sunday game on, then onwards and upwards. Absolutely. We'll get on to the Hearts game shortly, sooner or later. Massive game coming up, of course. I'm gonna actually ask you a wee question. Well, maybe not so much ask you a question, but we'll just shoot again.
Aye. The answer's still no.
You're not changing your mind yet, no. No. Well, I was gonna actually talk about another player who's not featured really much at all, if any, under Daniel, is Joe Rothwell, who's been linked with a move supposedly back down south. Strong interest from Sheffield United.
I'll just come out in here and just say that I've got no doubt that somewhere there's a decent player in Joe Rothwell. However, I don't think he's. I think he's what somebody that's come up and thought it's going to be a walk in the park, like you alluded to a few minutes ago with a couple other players. And sometimes there's good players that just don't cut it for whatever reason, and it could be a mentality thing, it could be a fitness thing. I don't think Joe Rothwell was particularly fit when he arrived at Rangers. And I think he was maybe taken aback and surprised at the pace of the game, the directness of the game. And I don't think Russell Martin played him in his best positions for the first few weeks, as it is anyway. So I think he's low in confidence and maybe a little bit at home. Maybe possibly, you think he's about 30, 31, you wouldn't be homesick, but maybe he's one of these guys that just wants to play around his family, around his home cities and hometowns, and if he wants to leave and we get a decent offer, then I would say, just cut our losses and, you can go back to England.
Aye, I mean, my opinion on it's quite, maybe people say it's quite harsh. It reminds me of when Chris Boyd came back to Rangers. He's completely unfit, out of shape, and his attitude must be terrible if that's the case. And I'll tell you why. If you were an athlete and you've got a chance to go to Auchenhowie every week and do extra training, you've got a gym there, you've got all the facilities, and then he's got enough money to go to any gym he wants in Glasgow. He's got plenty of time to get fit, and he's still no fit after all these months. He looks out of shape, he looks out of position, and that's an insult to the fans. People are coming from all the world to watch Rangers Football Club, and the guy can't get fit. So whether he's a nice guy or no, the quicker we get rid of people like that for the club, the better. Sheffield United want him. Shoot you in, take him.
It's not just, as far as I'm aware, it is teams that are top, towards the top of the league.
Part of England,
Middlesbrough, as you said, Sheffield, etc. The north part. Lewis, you asked a question, but what's your thoughts on the Rothwell scenario, situation even?
Yeah, well, the first when Joe Rothwell came into the club, he was one of those players I was actually quite excited about when he came in.
I've got to agree, yeah.
I thought he was one of those players who was going to sit in deep, sit in the sixth position and dictate the play, whether it was slowing it down or speeding the game up.
Well, he played for Leeds and he played well, so he must have been a good.
He was good for Leeds, Bournemouth, and even when he was on loan at Southampton, under he who shall not be named as well. He looked a decent player, I'm not saying no, that'll be a pound in the jar, a 50 pence.
And the Poggy will be next. Poggy's coming next week.
Good. So we need
no, well, I'm just disappointed that he's we've not really seen what we expected of him.
But do you understand what I'm saying? He said 6 months now to be fit.
Yeah, of course. No, I agree with that. I still think he's one of those players as well. Like, he'll probably end up going back down south and he'll probably be a decent player. If he ends up going to Sheffield United, who are struggling this season, I think they're near the bottom, if not mid-table in the Championship. But if he ends up going down to a team like that, I reckon he'll probably slot in, not too bad.
It's a wee bit like the Kieran Dill one. Dill was on the bench last night. He's going to have to put him he's going to try and have to give him some first team football to try and get rid of him. And that could, at the same time, he's trying to get victories at a crucial point in the season. So he's damned if he does, damned if he don't.
Massive disappointment for me is the fact that this signing got me and probably the majority of other fans excited, and he's out the door 6 months later.
I mean, I've got to say, I was pretty pleased, and as you said, pretty excited with him as well. I thought he was a player with a good pedigree, good history, and on the back of having a good season as well.
He played in the Premier League as well with Bournemouth, not exactly the most prestigious of teams.
Listen, Bournemouth in the last 5 years have been
of course, I'm not taking anything away
so,
from them.
They've top notch.
Very, very high standard.
But again, he should probably go down to England, as you're saying, and he'll do well. But it's just if that's how they're treating Rangers Football Club, then I don't want the kind of players there. Because if that's, we're talking about young players a minute ago, if young boys like Curtis and Moore are watching a guy like that who's established, no caring, then it's negativity breeds negativity, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So,
sorry,
No,
I'm just gonna come in a wee comment that's came in here. I'm sure we can spend a wee minute or two talking about it. It was great to see Nsiala get some game time after being shut out by RM. Yes, well, not only Russell Martin, well, that's a 50 pence a pound in the jar, but he was also shut out by Barry Ferguson as well after his first game, or Barry Ferguson's first game, away to Kilmarnock. Made 2 crucial mistakes, young centre-half. It's going to happen. You're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days. That was clearly one of his bad days. But after that, he just wasn't given a chance. And I've said in the channel plenty of times, there's potential there. When Ciala, his first few games that he played for us, we've seen that there was potential with him. And after one bad game, which we end up still winning, by the way, after one bad game, he's been completely shut out of the squad. So I think it's fair to say he's deserved this chance to get back in the squad because he's been shut out for the last, 9-10 months?
Aye. I mean, I would argue that he's been shut out of the squad. I think it was unfair the way he was treated.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking about attitude, that's the opposite of Rothwell. He's been on Facebook or whatever it was, Instagram saying I'm ready, I want to play for the club, and he's took his chance. He's came back. He's no feigning injury. He's not taking a wage and not doing anything. He wants to be part of Rangers.
Yeah.
He had a terrible game. Barry Ferguson done the right thing, taking him off that game.
Yeah, of course he did.
But the treatment afterwards, I don't think was very fair on the boy. He's only a young player.
Yeah, exactly.
And last night he was nervous at times, and I think that was the reason he was nervous. The crowd was on everybody's back. We kept getting back away. Hibs were a high press at times, and he was a bit nervous on the ball. But we haven't really got a choice. We're Chica's away to the AFCON.
Yep, Burkina Faso.
Players are getting injured. Cornelius is out for God knows how long now. Suter's out. We need centre halves, and we need guys that are with the club. We've got 3 weeks before the transfer window, so we need players. Yeah. And he came in last night, and I think his attitude is fantastic, first class, and he played all right. He was very nervous, but so were we. Every time I see the ball goes to your defence, we're all nervous.
Yeah, well, for me, obviously centre half's one of the positions that does need major improvement in January. But for me, the biggest game in January, the Old Firm at Parkhead, on the 3rd of January, even if we were to sign a centre half on the 1st of January, I still don't think you'd be ready unless we sign somebody within the Scottish game. Within the Scottish game, I think it would be different. But anywhere else, I think they would struggle to even be in the bench.
So I'll just say my tuppence worth on an NCL because I've not been his biggest fan since he came over.
Yeah.
I'm going to slightly not try to be controversial week after week, but the first couple of games, I don't actually think he's a natural defender. I think he's got a good pass. I seem to remember having a couple of good kind of long range passes from midfield, defence and midfield crosses, etc. as well. I wouldn't mind him retraining, maybe moving slightly up the park, maybe being a defensive midfielder. I've not seen enough of him really to judge if he's got a long-term future at centre back. I do agree that he's been harshly treated. And if you're a young guy that's that age, 20, 21, coming over, you don't play for AC Milan as a youngster and be crap, right? You don't. So you've got to have that, on your mind as well. We're asking a young guy who's got no friends, no family, going, but a different culture, a totally different lifestyle, a totally different league. Throw him in, played quite a lot of games, didn't play particularly well, but you've got to give him time. You've got to give him that opportunity, and then you can judge him for that. And I thought he came on and did okay. He certainly didn't look out of place in the defence. So whether that's a overall statement about how bad our defence actually is or not is up to everyone else. But if you don't, you've got to give. He's a 3. He's one of these guys that's played under 4 managers, and he's only 19, 20 in 12 months. So you've got to give him the opportunity. And if he gets the opportunity, messes it up, he's had his chance, and you move on. If not, you say to him, right, let's go. Have a few games, see how you get on, and I'm reasonably okay with him having an opportunity because, as I say, you don't come for someone like AC Milan for no reason.
Academy. I mean, some of the best defenders in the world have bad games. They make mistakes. He had an absolute nightmare, but it does happen to football players. That was at a time when Rangers were going for the extreme. One game we were really good, the next game we were really bad. The club was all over the place. The defence was an absolute disgrace. Barry Ferguson's in a position where he's trying to get himself the Rangers job. So why would Barry not take him off? He's got to take him off. He's got to steady the ship, and he's done that. But the boy's attitude is what I'm talking about. He certainly seems to have the right attitude.
Well, that's what's won me over in the last couple of months, to be fair.
He's never bad-mouthed the club or made any wee silly memes
aye.
at some of these players' day, and the wee comments. And also the fact that Gordy said is AC Milan. These teams they're usually spot on with their youth development, so there's got to be something in them. But for a boy like that, he would need games. He would need a few games, and maybe Danny Rowe will give him a chance. That's his first opportunity the other night there. And at the end of the day, we weren't great in defence, but it's a clean sheet. We weren't getting clean sheets under Russell Martin.
Yeah, well, just past the half an hour. We're just past the half an hour mark here. We'll get on to the Hearts game at the weekend after I cover these next couple of comments as well here from, I believe it says Kelso. The first one here is, has our support learned nothing? Manager after manager chased out the door. Player after player chased out the door. Clement and Roll are picking up from Beale and RM. Get behind the team. Yep. I mean, I don't think I can disagree with that. Second comment here just coming in. Absolutely sick of seeing the constant negativity on Rangers pages and forums before a ball is kicked. A section of our support is a disgrace. Clement and Dessers were chased out the door. Shameful.
Well, I agree with that.
I would agree to an extent.
I've been talking about this for months. Dessers was a fantastic striker for Rangers.
Yeah, of course.
And I spoke about it at the time, I'd never have got rid of him. And just a quick one, I'm going to go back to another player that was chased out the club. Fashion Sakala's been made the captain of his national team. Is it Zambia? Yep. He was a great player as well. But we sang Dessers' praise on this channel. After the Queen's Park game, I think Clement had to go. It was a really bad result. But I'm certainly no for chasing players out. Guys like Rothwell, if they want to play with Rangers, they'll be fit. If they're not fully fit and they don't look fit, then they don't want to be there. I want guys at the club who want to be there. And if you want to play for Rangers, I'll give them all the support that you can get.
Well, that's a good point. And I think there's got to be a bit of a balance in here. Yes, I think at times the Rangers fans, especially at home, can be a slightly quick for a negative reaction. Sometimes merited, sometimes I think it's a little bit too quick. But the other side of the coin is there are players right now that you look at them and you go to yourself, they're not getting it. They're not even, if you're someone like Conor Barron, for example, right? And as you said, Simon, he's maybe not the most technically gifted player, but by God, does he give it all? Then I think the crowd at Ibrox actually give him a pass for some mistakes sometimes, because
up with this pass, the back the way all the time.
But if you're something like Asgard, who's cost us 4 million, probably one of the best part of the players in the week, and then he comes on, doesn't kick a ball, then what kind of reaction are you going to have? So there has to be a bit of balance, and I think we have to be a little bit patient with some of the players. The other side of the coin is, you've got somebody that's coming in and just not getting it or not even trying, then I think the fans are justified to criticise. And at the end of the day, we can only go, and Rangers fans can only go and what they're seeing in front of them.
But I do agree with it. I can't see the guy's name, so I don't get respect. I do agree with one thing, that the online abuse that you see with just random like chats and groups and pages, the online abuse that Dessers got was horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't Dessers' biggest fan. But by God, I'd have him back in a heartbeat. And that's probably the best thing you can say about something like Dessers.
I mean, that goal scored at Old Trafford shows the quality the guy had. Never had wanted to be at Rangers, and I don't believe if he'd been treated better, I think with the support, he'd have probably stayed. And most of the fans that kind of mocked him and laughed at him, as you say, they would not take him back right now. He's a far better player than Shermiti. Yeah,
by far. So that's kind of, we've covered last night and all the comments. So thanks very much, everyone watching, for those comments. Please keep sending them in. And I think we'll now kind of move on to what is shaping up to be an absolutely fantastic fixture at the weekend. Start with you, Lewis. Are you looking forward to the weekend fixture at Tynecastle?
Yeah, well, it's just funny. I'm really looking forward to this game, actually. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm well to say I'm optimistic or I'm hopeful for a good result. I don't know. But it's one of those games, it's probably the toughest game that we've played this season so far. Away to top of the league right now, Hearts who are setting up fantastically under a new manager, Derek McInnes, some great players they brought in, not star players that the whole world knows, but players that they've brought in, they did their due diligence and ultimately they've been performing for Hearts. Of course, Claudio Braga, even Lawrence Shankland, who's been at Hearts for a few years. Of course, another top transfer target of ours for the last couple of seasons. And the boy Kizarides, I think you can pronounce it right, Greek winger, who's been fantastic for Hearts as well. So I do. There's plenty of. There's a lot of, not fear. I don't think we should have a fear playing teams like Hearts, but with the way that they're playing and with the way we're playing right now, it's definitely a tough fixture. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very good game. I'm quite optimistic.
Simon, just coming on to you then. Rangers decent form under Danny Rowe, but Hearts top of the table. I think we all agree on merit at the moment as well. Yep. So looking forward to this tasty clash on Sunday.
I think it's going to be a great game. A really good advert for Scottish football.
Yep.
The Tynecastles are really, it's probably one of my most difficult away grounds to go to. Hearts are well organised. However, when they came to Ibrox, they did get a few decisions that benefited them, and that's why they won the game against us. We shouldn't forget that. And that's 3 points that would be a wee bit different if you look at the league. You can also argue that Rangers have been playing 3 games a week. Hearts haven't had that, the midweek game, and we don't have one. We played on Monday, but we've not got the Wednesday or Thursday game on. That'll benefit us as well. They've only been playing once every week, and it's gave them a wee bit more fitness. One of their best players is suspended. I forgot his name. I watched the game against Celtic. He got the booking it to him about it, and they've got a smaller squad than we've got. So we have got a real good opportunity against them, but we really, really need these strikers to start scoring goals, because you can't keep getting away with it with your midfielders and your defenders scoring in the vital games. And the Hearts have the ability to punish us. It'll be a really hard game for us. And if we win the game, I would say then there's a real possibility that Rangers could win the league. But being a realist, it's going to be a really difficult game.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few kind of specific questions about what lineup you would have in a wee second. Start with yourself, Lewis. I think right now we don't have a problem to seek right now. We are defence, with the fact that we've hardly got one. But for you, you're the manager on Sunday in the morning. Who do you pick in defence for the game, and why?
Yeah, well, it's tough. I'm actually struggling to pick whether I would go for a 4 or a 5 back. I think I'm going to pick a 5 back. I'm going to go with, of course, Butland and goal. I think Tavernier will probably start the game. Is your 3 centre halves. It'll probably be Jigger, Sterling, and Fernandez. I think that's probably picks itself. Mexi and Ciala possibly starting, but I think it's too big of a game to chuck him back into now. Then at left back, probably Jaden Magoma. So I think we've got to set ourselves very strongly at the back, because Hearts' best asset this season is going forward.
Yeah. Simon?
No, I agree with that. I don't think he'll change much, to be fair. He's starting to be fair to Danny Rowe, he's starting to get a regular team and system. It took him a while to find that, but no wonder if he's seen the mess he came into.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll change a lot, to be fair, but I do agree. I think he'll bring Tavernier in for experience, but Tav won't play the full game. Guys like Sterling is vital, but we need to really stop them. I think he knocked the ball off the line twice against Hibs. He done it once anyway, but it's that kind of defending we're going to need to do. We've got a good chance. I don't see many changes in the team, to be fair, but probably Tav coming in. But Giga's out. He's away to Africa anyway, or the African nations.
Yep. So interesting thoughts, guys. So somebody that dropped onto the bench last night was Nico Raskin. Do you think we'll see him getting slotted back into midfield on Sunday? Start with yourself, Simon, this time.
I mean, I think they've all been playing, as I'm saying, they've all been playing the 3 a week, so the players will be they'll be getting injuries and tired and fatigue and things like that. I think Raskin probably has to play. On his day, he's still our best midfielder.
Yes.
Barron's been the best midfielder in terms of recent form, but between the two of them, I would have the two of them in the team, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I was to go for a midfield 2, well, I'd probably be Raskin and Barron, but if I was to say 3 in the midfield, I would say Raskin, Barron, and possibly Bishlami, because
I think he's still injured.
Is he still injured?
I think
he's still injured. I don't know if he was just out of the game for a precautionary. I don't know if it was a major injury. Of course, if
just as he came out of form.
I know.
Same as Miowski.
The same. Yeah. I think Miowski was it an injury in training for Miowski? I never actually seen the press conference.
No, it was Kilmarnock. Remember?
He get
Mind he get brought off. He got brought off. He's Kilmarnock. We just after his second goal.
I was not doing my research.
It's okay.
I mean, ideal world, Miowski's playing and Bajami, but I don't think the two of them will be fit for it. We just have to play with the players that we've got.
I'm trying to put it off and off by talking about other subjects. I'm going to get to the strikers soon. Right?
How many goals and how many games?
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you both your opinions on who starts on Sunday. But I'm going to come in just first of all and ask, would you play? So this is a big question for a big game on Sunday. Would you start with Curtis? I think Mikey Moore picks himself. If I've been honest, I've just gone there. But that leaves another position, and you've got Gassam, you've got Curtis. If you're playing a couple out wide, so out of those two, who would you like to see start, Simon?
I would start with Curtis. I think Curtis has got a really good ball that he can put into the box. Again, my worry is there's nobody there to finish the product for him. I would start with Curtis, give him another chance, because we need to give the boy a bit of. He needs consistency to play as a winger. But if he's struggling, you can bring Gassama on. I'm not really sure my opinion on Gassama. He started off really well with the club, but he's got this thing where I think he's shot shy. He doesn't want to shoot at the end product, but he'd be a great sub to bring on. So I would go with Curtis starting, and if he's struggling, bring on Gassama.
Lewis?
Yeah, well, I mean, I see the point you're making. So for me, I would personally go with Gassama and Moore as the two wingers. Personally, I think you were talking about earlier on, Finlay Curtis might just not be quite ready. And for this being possibly our biggest and also our hardest game this season, I think currently at this current state, Gassama has more quality right now than Finlay Curtis.
I'd agree with that. I just feel as if
I agree.
Gassama seems to be after boil, doesn't he? He could come back at any time.
I agree in the sense that he's a great player to have on the bench. Want to come on if you're struggling going forward. He's great. He's fast. He can take a man on and he can finish. As much as the goal got disallowed last night, it was a good finish. So fair play to him. I would probably just edge Gassama over
It
Finlay
might come
Curtis.
down to which one of the two is the fittest, because you might find if an injury.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Okay, so moving up top then. Here we go. This is the topic we've been on for the last for the last 40 minutes.
I think what we need to do, right?
So let's just call it out. Who starts up top then on Sunday, Simon?
Right, so it's what I said about Miovski a couple of weeks ago. You're going to have to keep playing him until he starts getting confidence and a run and get a couple of goals. I was right with that, but what's happened after that, he's got an injury. So I think you need to do the same with Sharmiti. We just need to keep playing him and see if he can play himself out of this rut he's in.
Yeah, well, in an ideal world, it would be Miovski that starts up front, but I think there's not really much other choice apart from possibly Danilo, but I don't see it happening. So I think it will be Sharmiti that starts up front.
Okay. It's a difficult one, isn't it, guys? Because at the end of the day, it's like you could pick it's a coin toss really for me between Danilo and Sharmiti. To be honest, up front, does Danilo again? I mean, we talk about Sharmiti cost 8 million, but we forget Danilo cost the best part of 6 million.
Yeah.
So he's not. It's not as if
he's got plenty of experience.
Far behind, and it's strange because Danilo has scored goals in his career. He scored goals for Feyenoord, not 20-25, but 12, 13, 14 goals. He's only scored I think 10 goals in 3 years for us. So, but I mean,
it's short the change in strike force. I just think you need to go with consistency and try and let them play themselves.
Yeah, and it's the same with defence as well. Strikers and defenders, even midfielders as well, need to form a partnership. Need to be able to play off each other.
So it has been obviously the results have picked up. I think at the start of the season, up towards that other manager getting the sack and Dan Rowe coming in. He's now played 7 league games.
Is it not 8?
I think it's
8 league games, 6-1.
So 6 wins and 2 draws.
Yep.
That is title challenging form. It is. And since Dan Rowe's come in, we have collected the most points. So irrespective of our performances right now, so I think we agreed that the Hibs game wasn't great. I think we had a great game down at Kelly, but the performances haven't been great, but we have been getting the results. How confident, Simon, are you going into the game on Sunday? Just overall, just your general gut feeling.
Probably the same as every other Rangers fan that watches this or goes to the matches. I'm a hell of a lot more confident now than I was 5 weeks ago. That's a big thing for me. We're on a bit of a run now. Yeah. I'm not interested in European form at all because it's just that was a shit show when he came in. He understands the club a bit more now, Danny Rowe. I like the guy. I like his approach. And I'm going to keep the faith with him. I think even if we lose the game, I'll be draw. Then we've still got enough time to bring it back again. There'll be plenty of points dropped. And I think for the weekend, Rangers have to go for it though. I wouldn't be sitting back. And I think if we go for it, we've got a chance of getting a result. Be a hard one though.
It's interesting you're saying that because I think our defence is quite fragile. So we do sit back and we invite pressure. It can really, really massively backfire. But Lewis, same question to yourself. Given our upturn in results, maybe not performances, but at least results, how confident are you overall going into the game on Sunday?
Yeah, well, as I said previously, it's a massive game. It's an exciting game. Looking into even if you're a neutral fan, it's a massive game. It's a great game between two sides that are on good form. So, and as you were saying, six wins and 2 draws in Danny Rowe's first 8 league games. It is title winning form, and the 2 games that we drew should very well have been wins. So, I think it's one of those games. If we win the game, I think we win the league. But I think
massive call.
It's probably a big
like
call
that.
and a bit early to make that sort of call in December.
I would agree with you there. If they win the Hearts game and then they win at Parkhead,
Yes.
if they win the games leading up to it as well, obviously. But if you come out of that with that forum, then you would have to say that we're contenders.
Yeah. And I don't think we're underestimating Hearts, but we've just got to actually realise how well Hearts have done this season. They've beaten us at Ibrox and they've beaten Celtic both home and away. So they're certainly title contenders, and they're showing that because, of course, they're top of the league. I think are they ahead of Celtic by what 3, 4, 5 points?
They've also got goal scorers.
Yes.
Yeah. And let's be fair, both parts of the Old Firm, Rangers and Celtic, we haven't been, the best this season overall. But that doesn't detract from the fact that Hearts are up there on merit. You know,
100%.
and Hearts have went out and won these games. So I think we have to acknowledge that they're a good team and they're a good manager. I think you advocated for McInnes to be at Rangers. I'll be honest, I wasn't convinced, but I think I can safely say I was wrong about that, given what he's done. And that takes a lot for me to say I'm wrong, by the way. So there you go. That's it. No, don't start. Here we go.
I was right about Shankland, and I told you on the group chat last week that Nonce will lose his first 3 games, and everybody laughed.
He did.
Him.
He did.
Frank Sinatra would say, "Who's got the last laugh now?"
To be fair to Simon, he absolutely did say that about the Wilfred Nonce. It's honestly that's good shout, and you've got to. So I think we said we were going to do 45 minutes tonight. I think we're kind of towards the end of that. However, I'm going to ask you. I think we're planning to do something before the game on Sunday. Double check the comments. But I'm going to ask you for a prediction for Sunday. If it's too early to say that yet, or
I think it's going to be a really tight game. So I'm going to go 3-2 to Rangers.
2-1 Rangers.
Interesting. I think it'll be a high scoring game, but I think it might be a draw 2 each. But Lewis, you're up for any of these comments, sir? If you could.
Yeah, of course. I've got a good few here from Gers. I do need to lean forward because as much as I probably get the best version here, it's not saying much. So we'll put them up on the screen. We've got one here from Gers. So the key is in the word Gordon support. The majority of Ibrox sit in silence. They offered nothing to encourage the team, far better away support. And I think that was coming on when we were talking about Dessers, how much slack he got from the fans. Yeah, I mean, next comment there as well, but Nick Walsh. Nick Walsh is the referee at Tynecastle. Just weeks after having a howler in the League Cup semi-final. Walsh has previous for giving decisions against Rangers. Yeah, I've seen that he's the referee for Sunday. I'm not too pleased with that, but I think. But
it's back to what I said to these guys: if the club does nothing about it, the club don't fight it. It's just going to keep happening. You need to have a strong board and you need to be strong off the park and on the park.
But I think majority of referees, no matter who was picked to the game, I think we can all come out and say that he gave dodgy decisions against Rangers in the past. Yeah. So I think no matter who it was, I think we were always going to be disappointed.
There's not a great level of competency. Yeah, and I'd be even worried about who the VAR officials are as well on Sunday. But
I don't know if the VAR on all night there because they seem to be just playing everything on.
Yeah. Well, another comment here, once again, from Kelso. Rangers have only lost 1 league game this season, a game that we were cheated 3 times. Shankland and handball are both pushed in the Hearts keeper. A penalty awarded where Dame Andy didn't touch the player. Yeah, I absolutely agree. A game that we should have won 1-0, we end up losing 2-0. So absolutely, well, our only loss in the league this season. I feel mental to say that considering
that is crazy. Like
we've only lost 1 in the league.
If you said 5 weeks ago, as I said earlier on, 5 weeks ago, you thought you'd begin into this with a few losses in the league.
Yep.
One thing I will say is that the Shankland handball, if that was the other way about, and it was a Rangers player done that, there's no way in the world that goal would have stood.
It would have been pulled back. Of course, it would have been.
So that's inconsistency. I like that comment. It's correct.
Yeah, and another one here as well. Give Moore a free roll behind Miovski. That's where we can Hearts. Yeah, well, I think in an ideal world, of course, it would be, but obviously, I think Miovski is out for the game. which is unfortunate because he was starting to hit a bit of form.
But that's the way forward, that position.
Of course it is. And it is a shame that, of course, Mikey Moore is only here on loan.
Well, I don't know, I heard last night somebody said that he's been hinting about the fact that it might be a 2-year loan, or he would be interested in staying for 2 years. Whether Spurs would allow that, I don't know.
I don't think they would.
Somebody said to me that it's been chatted about, and that would be big for Rangers because the boys really came around to form.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, especially since the start he made. He wasn't great, but I think looking back, you don't judge him. To be fair on that, as Conor Barron's proven as well, like when you get a new manager in, it can give you a fresh momentum and lease of life. So that's good.
I was saying that to the boys beside me. I said I would just let Moore, exactly what the comment said there.
Let the young boy run free. Let the young boy plays football.
That's the style of play, is right?
Yep. Okay. Good.
I think that's really the last of comments there. Another wee one from Jack Quiet from the stands. He weren't sitting next to me. I think the fans have given. I think it's fair to say a lot of the fans are giving players and managers far too much slack over the last even 2-3 years. But it's a topic that we've spoke about.
I think we are sometimes too quick to criticise, but then I do believe sometimes it is justified.
Of course,
a mistake in their own back. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's too quick, and I think they have to show a little bit of patience, especially when you get a lot of the players are brought in are younger. They don't have this expectation to win every single game, so they can see the best example probably is somebody like Max Aarons, who has got a good pedigree, probably a good player, but the pressure he gets put under week in, week out is probably unbearable for him right now.
Yeah, for me,
that's the best example for me.
There's two things that stick out there with Max Aarons, whatever you want to say. One is the performance away to Bruges. I think he showed his mentality that game. 8 minutes into the game, you could clearly tell he didn't want to be there, and he just decided, I'll pull the man down and I'll get sent off just so I don't have to play this game. That's basically what it was. And the other one was where he came out and made a comment saying, "I play better when I'm not under any pressure." Well, which when you're at a club like Glasgow Rangers, a unique club, a club where fans from all over the world are watching you, where you're going to constantly be under pressure. You're expected to win games week in, week out. You're expected to win trophies. You're expected to do well in Europe. You can't say that. You can't hope that you're not going to be under any pressure, because you're under pressure 24/7 at Glasgow Rangers. That's very true, and a lot of the pressure build up to this weekend's game against Hearts was going to be an absolutely fantastic top of the table clash, and I think we're all really looking forward to it.
Just before you finish, I just got some news before we went on live, and it's my condolences to Margaret Arnott and Janie. I think that I'm pretty sure they lost their brother, Sonny. I think his name is Shu, but everybody knew him as Sonny. Govan True Blues. He was a regular in the Rangers club. And Govan for years, massive Rangers fan, massive Rangers family, but to all his family, condolences tonight. He was a lovely guy. Yeah, absolutely. It's always tragic to lose a member of the Rangers family, especially somebody so involved in the community and locally as well. So our heart goes out to the family there. Yeah, of course. Lewis, before we finish up and look forward to the game on Sunday, any final thoughts or comments? No, not at all. I just want to say, I think we should keep believing. We should keep the faith at Rangers. Well, we were at a point we were 7 or 8 points behind, possibly the worst Celtic team that we've seen in many years, and now we're 3 points behind, albeit Celtic have a game in hand. But our next 2 games are not exactly the easiest, playing against Dundee United and Aberdeen as well. Yes, Dundee United have been poor, but they'll fancy their chances against Celtic considering the form that they're on. So will Aberdeen. Okay, great stuff. I mean, just quickly, I met a couple of different Rangers fans the last 3 or 4 days that I've met up with the chairman. And they've told me, Andrew Kavanagh, that he's slowly, but he's getting the bug, he's getting right into Rangers, he's really starting to understand it. He is apparently going to try and meet as many fans as he can. I don't know how that'll work. There was a photo going about, and I believe it was the Kilmarnock. I don't know I can't remember if it was a Kilmarnock game or if it was the European game. If it was the one in New York, I think it was Kilmarnock. I think it was. I can't remember. No, it was the Ferencváros game. The Kilmarnock game, he was there. The Ferencváros game, he was at the. The boy I was speaking to last night was in the director's box talking to him at Kilmarnock, so it was a European game, right? Yeah, the Big Apple Bears Sports Club in New York. I think that's fantastic when you're seeing your owner,
yeah, someone who you're thinking is just going to sort of stay behind the scenes, stay away from the fans.
My
getting
message,
so involved.
my message to the support would be, mate, I know it's hard, but especially the games at Ibrox, try and be a wee bit more relaxed, because it's going to be really hard. We've had a real shit show to start the season, but the new guys who came in, they've admitted their mistakes, they've carried on, but a wee bit more patience maybe is a word for it.
Yeah.
And try and get behind the team a wee bit more, because once that frustration kicks in, it does tend to, the players are terrified in the defence. But I understand it's hard when you're watching it every week.
It was sort of living the fans' experience, if you like to say. So
He was buying the beers in that. He was in the
exactly.
NEH as well.
Exactly. It was at a supporters club. He wasn't necessarily in shirt and tie. He was in a tracky suit.
You're not like that, Simon, would you?
Well, I'm just waiting. I'm sending his application in from our lodge, and then we'll
getting the beers in, and I believe he was going around meeting a lot of fans at the Thornton Suite at the Rangers.
Credit went due.
Yeah, of course. And I seen a photo of him with a wee pint of Tennants as well. So I like to see that, someone getting so involved with the fans, someone getting right in there, living the fans' experience, someone who, of course, has been far away from all their lives.
You know what's going to happen before you know it, he's going to be in the Black Bull, steaming drunk. Like, can't get him up the road.
Well, apparently, when you go to the Blackpool,
on me, that's
well, if you go to the Blackpool, you obviously have a smile on your face, so at least he might go in miserable, but also he'll leave with a smile on his face.
Mr. Kavanagh, if you're watching, if you ever come to the Blackpool and Cambuslang Main Street, and just remember, if I'm there, the beers will be on me, my friend.
Just before we finish up, then, speaking of meeting people and catching the bug, Simon, I believe you had an interesting meeting with someone over the weekend here in the studio. Do you want to tell the viewers about that and where they can watch it and when they can watch it?
Billy Davis interviewed when I was coming back for Big Boffy's gig in Mull. I was just looking for different players, and I was asking Bobby Russell and Gordon Smith recommendations, and he said to me, "Why don't you approach Billy Davis?" I was under the impression he was a kind of door-faced guy that was really unapproachable, but there's been a campaign against him by certain media outlets in England, bad-mouthing the guy and blackening his name for the last 10 years. That's all going to come out in the public very soon. He was a gentleman. He was fantastic on the come to the studio. Really liked it. We're talking about all the things I love: Davy Cooper, Bobby Russell, Ian Redford, all the old days. And he's promised that he'll come back and do something else for us in the future. The interview's on YouTube, and you can watch it anytime at all. You can find it on our page and links as well on Facebook.
Brilliant, fantastic, great stuff. I've watched it. It's a fantastic interview, so please spend some time watching that, and we'll keep you up to date with anything else that's happening on the channel shortly. Lewis, thanks very much. Great expert analysis tonight. Simon, you've got everything right so far. So any predictions for this week coming up?
No, that's just that. It's just all my experience for the BB days.
Oh, that's all right. Now, I need to finish up. Now we're back on the BB's page. Thanks everyone for watching, for all your comments. Some fantastic comments tonight. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you all soon. And always remember, guys, to finish off, we are
the people.
Double done.
That one, yeah. Play out 3.